right, so it's time for just full-fledged fuzz madness. And this is one of those tracks where it's just from the very get-go just explodes out of the speakers. So what we're going to try to do is emulate that. And this is another track, much like the manic progression track that we did, that starts to fuse chords and riffs together where you're playing directly out of the pentatonic scale and you're manipulating it just so it sounds melodic and cool and song-oriented, but it's still a really riff-based song. So let's start again with the rhythm track and then get into the lead stuff where you can just go crazy all over this track. All right, so set your fuzz to sound like a spoon hitting mashed potatoes on this one because it gets nasty. But in this particular song, as with a few others from this style, a lot of it is riff-based rock derived out of pentatonic position 1. In particular, this song as well. Now, what makes this song a little more difficult is you're really jumping from high to low to middle to high to low. So you're string skipping a lot, and so your attack, if your muting facilities aren't really good, then your picking needs to be a little bit more precise. So when you go, you want to target that top note twice, right? And then you come in. Actually, at the beginning of the song, I start with a slide, which is right before beat 1, and then, okay? Now, one of the things you can help yourself do to safeguard against unwanted string noise is to flatten these other fingers out across the strings. Okay, so right off the bat, you're getting a little extra protection. Now, the second one, what you can do is right before you launch into going to the D string 4th fret, I catch this B and E 5th fret one last time, but on an upstroke. So we got, and then I put my ring finger down on the 4th fret D, and I do the exact same thing an octave higher where I hit that note twice. Okay, so we got, okay, and then I'm going to jump down to the G string 2nd fret, back to the F sharp note, and I'm going to actually pull it off. Okay, now that open D string, if you let it ring by itself, would sound kind of out of place, but since you're doing it quickly, it just kind of is a little bit of ear candy to keep the ear interested, but then it comes right back into our root note on the lower string. So we got, now what happens next is I do octave chords, and I just crawl up chromatically 1 fret at a time, 2, 3, 4. So it's, now I hit that upstroke and I do a mute right there. So and then back. Now this time I'm going to do a double stop bend. Okay, so what I did there is with my 3rd finger I'm going to grab 2 strings at once. And in this particular case, it's the G and the B 4th fret. Now, you don't have to make it to pitch. You're aiming for a half step. Okay? And then I'm going to pull off a double stop as well. And then I come right back with my 3rd finger and do that exact same thing. Okay? So, you're hitting again, pulling up, releasing down, pulling off to the 2nd fret, G and B, D string, 4th fret, and let it go. Okay? I do same thing, and then I do 3 downstrokes on E. 1, 2, 3. That gets us into more of the chorusy part. So 1, 2, 3, up. Okay, so I do 3 downs and 1 upstroke. 2 downstrokes. Okay, so we got. I do 1, 2. Okay, so. So. 1, 2, slide. Down. And I just go. So that's going to an A chord. 1, 2, 3, mute. And then B. But I'm really just hitting 2 strings, which is the 2nd fret A, 4th fret D. More of a power chord. And hitting with the drums. So all together we got. And then I end on an E. So. Okay, now at the very end, there's kind of a. Okay, so what happens is it's kind of a breakdown at the very end, and all I'm doing is I'm pedaling back and forth on the D string. Okay, so I go. Okay, that's the first part, and then that's the second part. Okay, so all together. And then. Right, so it's basically very similar to what's going on in the song, with the exception of this kind of bubble part. Now, if you notice, I'm adding palm muting to that, so I'm just taking this part of the flesh of my hand and then putting it on the string, so it gets a little bit more of a muted sound. Now, at the very end, we're going to hit 3 chords. We're going to hit B, E, and then F sharp. So it's.